Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another video. This is yet another pre-scene analysis that we are analyzing for you. So this is the pre-scene analysis for the operational case study exam coming up in May 2024 and August 2024. The pre-scene company given to us is called Cannon. It is a company that makes saddles for horseback riding. Now this is going to be yet another very inclusive, very innovative and very informative pre-scene analysis that we are creating for you, because our pre-scene analysis is very different. It is one video taking the exact SEMA pre-scene and adding our E1, P1 and F1 topic relations to ensure that when you have gone through the pre-scene, it's like a simple movie that you've seen, which has given you a great idea of what are the topics which I need to study, what are the topics which are most prevalent to come up in the exam, what are the scenarios which can come up in the exam, and most importantly, what is the nature of my company. So it's going to be something that we have created in a very simple way for you to follow. You don't have to do anything, just tune in and listen to my explanations. You will see the value that they add. Because these topics, these E1, P1 and F1 relations, we have been making since a very long time and know what comes up in the exam. We know, and rather we've been able to very successfully just understand the exam pattern, structure, system and shape our course to include the important topics in our pre-scene and in our mock questions. Before we move ahead, let me introduce a new revamped mini course that we have. It's a completely free mini course that we have created to give you access to a lot of bonus material, to a lot of our material absolutely free. So this comprehensive mini course that I'm speaking about, the link to register for this mini course is in the description box itself. So just move to the description box and you'll see a link. It will take you to our website and you can access the mini course for free. There is no cost. This mini course includes an extra industry analysis, which I will mention a lot about in the pre-scene. So if you've seen the industry analysis, it will really benefit you. It includes an explanation of the SEMA blueprint explanations, the I can statements. It includes the top 10 issues video, which is part of the mini course itself. So it will add great value to, because knowing top issues that can come up in the exam so you can revise them is a great resource. You also have mock writing tips and tricks, a video on that created by me in the mini course. To top it all off, you have a free mini mock which is timed on our exam software, exactly like the exam, and we will give you personalized feedback if you submit that mock. So everything will be given to you step by step in the free mini course. It's great value. It's something that's really gonna help you. And you're studying with a registered provider. You'll be studying and accessing resources created by us, who have held the Global Pass Rate Excellence Award for 2 years in a row now. So you are definitely going to get value from this material. And it's absolutely for free. There is nothing to lose. Try it out. You will 100% find it helpful. Without further ado, let me begin with the pre-scene analysis. Let's start. Now, the very first thing that we start with is going to be your role. So what is your role in this pre-scene context or in this case study context? That will be explained first. While going through the entire pre-scene, we are going to keep relating to a E1, P1 and F1 syllabus perspective. So please make sure that you have a pen or a paper or a Word document or anything open where you are writing down the conjunction topics which I am mentioning. For example, if I mention budgets, then write down budgeting P1. If I mention variances, then write down P1 variances. When I'm mentioning a topic, please have a habit of writing down the topics as a list So you understand while you are revising that these are major areas that you cannot compromise on. And that's the entire advantage of studying with FinTutors, because very slowly we'll break down everything for you and give you important topic areas as well. So as we already know, you are a finance officer working within the finance department of Canon. So finance officer is your role. Let's think, if you know any finance officer designation around you, somebody who holds this designation, you will see that generally their role is, short-term decisions, costing, variances, working capital help with creation of financials, help with some IASs, IFRSs, some standard practices, right? Now just think logically, if you look at the role of the finance officer in front of you, you see the topics there, you will see that they very clearly relate to your E1, P1 and F1 syllabus. So to be a good finance officer, it's very clear that you need to have good E1, P1 and F1 knowledge. If you don't have this knowledge, how are you going to support the finance manager? How are you going to support the finance department? So the very important first step, the first place to start with is revision. I've already mentioned the pattern of revision. I've already explained the importance of revision, but this is pointing it out to you in the flash. So finance officer's role is very much technical based, and for you to understand that your technical base is only going to be developed if your E1, P1 and F1 knowledge is strong. So you are principally involved in the preparation of management accounting information and providing information to managers to assist with decision making. So preparation of management accounting, providing information and decision making. All three are in your P1 syllabus. So as we know, the major foundation pillar of this exam and the principal role given to you revolves around P1. So if you don't have strong P1 knowledge, you are going to face problems in this exam. So throughout this pre-scene, we have boxes like this which we have created to add ideas, to add knowledge, and to tell you that okay, these are the focus areas for you. Same way, you will also be expected to assist in financial statements and queries regarding financial statements. So this is very clear that it's part of your F1 syllabus. I will just move my video around to the other side now to make it easier for you as well to understand, or see rather. So for any case study exam, it will be important to immerse yourself into the details of this company, and only then will you be able to present answers that are specific for your company. If you don't know what Canon does, if you don't know what your company is, along with your technical knowledge, then you cannot do well on a case study exam, and these are the business skills that are often tested in the exam. When you do my mock questions, we will also test you on E1, P1 and F1, on business skills. We will test you on various areas, but for that your technical background base knowledge has to be strong. So E1, P1 and F1 form the pillar of this exam, plus knowing the company very well is also very important. Let's start with the introduction now. So Canon is a company that designs, makes and sells saddles for horse riding. Now you already know the business of horse riding equipment and horse riding saddles because you have done the industry analysis with me. Those who have done my industry analysis will already have great ideas in your mind right now about what this industry is, the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities in this industry, and all of that I've covered in my 30-minute industry analysis. So you're already one step ahead if you have done my industry analysis. If you haven't, please go through the industry analysis first. Let's continue. So you are part of an organization that designs, then manufactures and then sells. So keep this in mind. And the topics that are manufacturing related from your E1, P1 and F1 syllabus become more important. When you are going through P1, E1 and F1, there are a lot of topics which are related to manufacturing companies and a lot of topics which are related to service businesses. You are not a service business, you are a manufacturing organization. So your topics related to manufacturing, like capacity planning, for example, like your different variances, like your different, let's say, costing systems, become even more relevant. Production systems becomes even more relevant. So keep this in mind. I am a manufacturing organization when you are doing your revision as well. Keep this in mind that you're working for a manufacturing organization. It also means that we are a downward vertically integrated company, meaning every single part of this product is controlled in-house, designing in-house, making in-house, selling in-house. This has various advantages, such as you have your customer information, customer direct access, you have the knowledge of buying patterns, you have the knowledge of controlling the entire production process. It also has various drawbacks like capital requirements, reduced flexibility, very high operating costs. So when you are controlling everything, there are various advantages, various disadvantages, which I discussed with you because I wanted to drive the point of having and controlling the strategic supply wheel and supply chain management issues. This is your E1 syllabus. What is my supply wheel like? What is my supply chain management problems that I might face? So this is your E1 syllabus coming into the picture here. Next, Canon only makes saddles. It does not make bridles. So we are only making saddles, not other accessories like bridles, like reins, like stirrups, nothing like that. Again, those who've done my industry analysis know these wordings. That is why the industry analysis is very, very important. So we only make saddles. We don't make accessories. Companies such as Canon are known as saddle makers. So our differentiating factor could be that we focus on quality and saddles only. But this would also mean that one's product segment is being ignored, which could be a lost revenue for the business because we are not focusing on accessories. Yes, we are expertise saddle makers. That's right. But can we have, through our industry analysis, we already know that the horse equipment market altogether is growing. So is this a revenue that we are missing out on because we are only focusing on saddles? So future expansion into this segment can be an exam scenario, that there is an expansion into now making other horse riding equipment. For this, we are going to need working capital. How do you think our working capital supply chain or our working capital chain works, for example? For this, you will have to know the working capital concepts of receivables, payables in your F1 syllabus. Plus, you will need to know our business, which I am going through with you part by part. So while going through the pre-scene, I am pointing out important syllabus areas. Plus, I am giving you exam scenarios which do come up, can come up. So you're getting a lot of information through this pre-scene. So please go through it carefully. The company is based in Kieland, a country located in mainland Europe, and has K dollars as its currency. From our industry analysis, again, we know that the horse riding equipment market in Europe is huge. It's very, very prevalent in Europe. So it's going to be it's a competitive advantage for us that I'm already situated in a country where horse riding is deep rooted in the culture and there is going to be inherent demand. So from this we understand that because Kieland is based in Europe, it's situated in a developed economy, which means people have the interest and the money to spend on innovative, quality-oriented, and niche products like horse riding saddles. It's part of their culture. So the trend and the culture will be such that people will be used to these kind of, specialist saddle maker saddles that Canon is producing. So segmentation and external market analysis is going to be very important over here. Canon is located in a developed economy, so it opens up advantages such as better infrastructure, very high skilled workforce, because that's the characteristics of a developed economy, right? But we also need to take into consideration high regulation, high safety considerations, high factors of production, high costs. So when I'm looking at all of this, like the external market, like the segmentation, these are topics in my E1 syllabus, because if I don't know my market well, if I'm not breaking down my market well, then how will I serve my customer? Next, Canon was founded in 1906 by William Canon. So it's a family business. As you can see, the family name is the name of the business, and it was founded back in 1906. So we have been in the market for 118 years. Now a business can only survive for so long because it has garnered a set of loyal customers and a growing brand image, which all amounts to increasing goodwill. Which means I have been in the market for so long, naturally I have to be successful. Because do you know any business that survives for so long and is not successful? It's not possible. So please remember this as your core competency as a business, that you have been able to survive through the toughest of times, through economic upturns, economic downturns, and all of that your business has been able to survive. Keep that in your mind now, everyone. Now please remember, I am going through the entire pre-scene with you first to help you understand our company. Very normal, natural for the case study. Second, I am pointing out important E1, P1 and F1 syllabus areas for you to note as important areas which can be tested in the exam. Third, all of this information that I am giving you is helping you understand our company in a better way. What's the use of this? When you actually sit the exam or when you take my mock questions, I want to make sure that you use this information, you entangle this information and actually naturally, organically bring out this information when you are writing your answer. So for example, when you are writing your answer, you can start your answer by saying Canon has been in the business for 118 years, which showcases our strength to deal with market issues or economic upturns or downturns. For example, I'm saying, when you include this in your answer, it tells the examiner that this person knows our company, has spent time on the pre-scene, has spent time studying the company. That's your business skill. So please remember, whatever you write has to be very relevant to Canon, and the best way to do that is taking ideas from the pre-scene and then using it in your answers. So 3 reasons, please remember them clearly as to why the pre-scene is so detailed when you are doing with us. First, to know the company, obviously. Second, important E1, P1, F1 topics. Third, to have business skills in your writing. So you can use all of these ideas. Remember that. So William started his working life as an apprentice saddler, and after completing his apprenticeship at a local company, started his own business making saddles for the Keeland Army. So he started as a small business and it's grown tremendously. So William will be a key person for this business, as he has worked through the inception to the success of the business. So he's the person who started the company and naturally has led the company so far. Now what I want to point out over here from the E1 syllabus perspective is that understanding the structure of the organization as we move deeper into the pre-scene is going to be important. While doing that, it's important to also understand that throughout this 118 years, the roles of different functions within the organization will have greatly changed. For example, HR is not like it was before. Finance is not like it was before. Manufacturing itself is not like it was before. So the changing roles of different functions, it's going to be very important to keep in your mind. So the changing of roles, the structure of the organization, all of this is part of your E1 syllabus, and that is why I am mentioning it. Next, he purchased a site on the outskirts of his local town and built a workshop. That's how small businesses generally start. The company remains on his original site, although it has expanded over the years to incorporate a production facility, inventory warehouses, and offices. So it remains on the same site, but there has been expansion. So we have our own production facility. So inventory, scheduling, working capital, labor management, variances will be regular occurrences. For example, I have my own facility where I am receiving goods, where I am going to pay for those goods. So this is my working capital cycle. On the other hand, I have my own factory, so I will have labor, I will have material, I will have idle time. So all of this can create variances because of the manufacturing nature of my company. This is your P1 and F1 syllabus, Because we have our own facilities, many concepts, including assets, recognition of assets, IS 16, capital raising, taxation related issues can be raised, and we will be speaking about these concepts one by one when they come up deeper in the pre-scene, but I'm just giving you an overview of it right now. Because you are a manufacturing organization, these things become reality. So your variances topic, working capital topic from your P1, F1 syllabus are important. Now we have one production facility, meaning that we are reliant on one production unit to run all production assembly functions. It's a small business right now, so there is one single production facility. Fine. But if we are looking to expand into the horse equipment market, accessories market as we call it, then we might have to look at another factory or another small production unit, or we can expand the current production unit itself. So let's start to think about benefits and limitations of having one single centralized unit versus two units. Because can this one site continue to meet the demand as we grow? Might not be possible, right? So when we make any production related decisions like right now, it is important that relevant costs be considered. Whether to have one unit, whether to have two units, you need to consider relevant costs. The relevant costing concept from your P1 syllabus is very, very important. It's often tested. So rather than making some elements in-house, you can also look at make versus buy decisions. This is also your relevant costing concept, make v buy decisions in your P1 syllabus. You need to know which costs are relevant, which costs are not relevant. What is the opportunity cost? You need to know those concepts from the P1 syllabus. Nobody is going to ask you to calculate the opportunity cost. No calculations at all. But the concept of which cost is relevant, which cost is not relevant is very important, because without that you can't write your answer. So during the 1920s and 30s, the customer base widened to include civilian customers and customers in other European countries. It's not only Keyland. We are selling in other European countries as well as civilian customers. We started with the army, but now we have civilian customers and other European countries. So different currencies coming into the picture here, because you are selling to different countries. Though in Europe, there are different currencies, right? Hungary has a different currency, Switzerland has a different currency. There are different currencies coming into the picture. So during this time, the company became known for its quality and stylish saddles. So please remember your culture. Please remember your business. So we are known for our high quality and stylish saddles. It's not only a brand, but it's a brand that focuses on quality and style. So this is our competitive advantage that we very clearly need to be need to be knowing. Sorry. I have given you the PDF of this pre-scene that I am screening. So whatever is just right behind me, you can look at that on your screen, or you can look at the PDF which I have given you, ensuring that you don't miss out on anything. So this is our comparative advantage and the culture of my company. Within the Porter's generic strategy, this is known as a differentiator or premium quality focus. This also showcases our premium pricing strategy, because if you have high quality, high style, it's generally going to be a higher price as well. So knowing what the different strategies are, knowing what the different pricing strategies are from your P1 syllabus, E1 syllabus, very, very important. The different pricing strategies is in E1, different pricing methods is in P1 as well. They overlap between E1 and P1, but these are important concepts. I'm pointing it out to you from now itself. Now, the saddles which are made and sold by Canon today are based on traditional designs, but they are high quality and are marketed as general purpose saddles rather than specialist saddles. Their more traditional design means that Canon saddles have limited appeal in modern markets. So a drawback, a threat, a weakness is coming up very clear about my company. That I have not been investing very largely in your technology because our saddles are more traditional. In our industry analysis, it was very, very clear that without technology investments, rather in technology investment is this business's success. So if you don't invest in technology, you're going to be left behind, like sensors on saddles, like we spoke about in the industry analysis. This is something that my business is not doing right now. The innovation and development seen in the products offered by other saddle makers, but lacking in Canon's saddles, are thought to be the reason why Canon sales have not increased. So the market is growing at 4 to 5% from the industry analysis, we know that. But if you don't focus on the major growth trends, like I have explained, then you are not going to benefit from the growth in the market. So the general perception in the market is that although Canon saddles offer value for money, the company has significantly fallen behind the times. So it is very clear that our external market analysis has failed, and that is why we don't know what the market really wants, what the customers really want. That is why we are falling behind, right? So the pastel analysis might not have been done properly by the business. Our data gathering techniques have failed, because if you would have gathered proper data, you would know what the market wants. IT infrastructure within the organization is weak, and hence technologies driving the digital world have not been focused on, like big data, data mining, data analysis. This problem would never have occurred if this existed. And new type of marketing systems have also not been incorporated, because if you are marketing on the same thing and it's going and it's failing, then naturally, if you would have had that data, if you would have had that marketing data as well, you know that I need to change. But the business has not done that so far. So all of these concepts like data, data mining, big data, new types of marketing, pastel analysis, again part of your P1, E1 syllabus. Moving on, a saddle consists of a tree, which is the inner skeleton of the saddle, webbing, and leather pieces which are stitched together to create a saddle. The company currently offers a range of 3 different styles of saddles and different options in respect of the tree and the quality of the leather used. So different products, different styles are being offered. Today, Canon saddles tend to be used by amateur equestrians who typically use them for hacking, which means going for a trail ride, leisure purposes, and occasionally for very low level competition. So we are again looking at the generic market and not specific equestrians who are looking to compete on the national or international level. So our focus is on amateur equestrians for hacking and low-level competition. We need to expand our ideas and market prospects greatly to increase Canon sales. You can't only be focusing on one niche. You should and rather could be looking at saddles for competition, specific saddles which are innovative. As the business expands, we will need to look at capacity planning and risk related decision making. It's very clear right now that there will be an exam scenario where they will tell you that we are now looking to, in some way incorporate technology or start making horse riding other equipment or looking at specific saddles for competition. It's looking like a very clear direction because of everything that they have mentioned. So there could be a question in this scenario related to capacity planning or risk related decision making. So your knowledge of payoff tables, very, very important. A very favorite question in the exam. Risk-based decision making, different risk attitudes is very, very important before making the final call on which product to go ahead with, which product to manufacture. That's what payoff tables are. That's what different risk attitudes entails. Different risk-related decision making entails. This is of your P1 syllabus and very important. Yes, when you do mock questions with me, we will test you on how to read a payoff table. We will teach you as well. Don't worry. But have that knowledge that this is an important concept and I should have revised it. So throughout the company's history, it has been owned and managed by the Canon family only. So it's a family owned business. It can be, so what is a family owned business rather? Let's quickly look at it. A family owned business may be defined as any business in which 2 or more family members are involved and they have majority ownership of the business. What is the natural advantages? They will have common values, they will have strong commitment, the business will have stability. What will be the disadvantage? There might be lack of skills or experience. Not everybody in the family will have the same level of experience or the skill to run the company. There can be family conflict which can, eventually affect the business. There can be problems in succession planning. So we need to keep in mind that we are a family business. These are advantages, these are disadvantages. Just briefly. Next, the company's current managing director is John Cannon. John has a sister, Anne, and they hold 80 and 20% of Canon's equity shares respectively. So majority owned by, or pretty much all owned by the Cannon family only. Anne is a successful author of romantic novels and has no interest in horses or equestrian pursuits. She is not involved in the management of Canon. She only holds a part of ownership. Again, one of the disadvantages. If this percentage was owned by somebody else who was interested in the business, maybe Canon would not have fallen behind like it has. They've told us, right? Our sales have suffered on the previous page. So one of the disadvantages of a family business. John's daughter, Freya Cannon, has participated in equestrian sports from when she was a small child. She is now an international show jumper and represented Keeneland at the recent World Equestrian Games. So she is a person who is interested in horse riding at least. Freya's medal-winning performances in individual and team events at the World Equestrian Games led to her inclusion in Keeneland's Olympic team. So she's part of the Olympic team as well. And she is related to the name Cannon, obviously. So it's going to help our business, right? It's like free marketing for the business. Freya is an international show jumper and holds accounting and finance knowledge. That they have told us in the next paragraph. Freya can be a good marketing aspect of our business. She's also included in the Olympic team. So how much time does she have to give to the business? Something to think about. So Freya's sporting prowess is matched by her intellect. Like I said, she recently graduated from a prestigious Keeneland University with a first-class honors degree in accounting and finance. But does she know how to run the business? Does she know about production? Does she know about management? We don't know. this could be factors which are holding the business back. After graduation, Freya started working at Canon, although she does take substantial periods of leave to continue her equestrian career. So again, time is the issue. John is immensely proud of his daughter's academic and equestrian achievements and welcomes her involvement in the company. And he admits that the business altogether, the business as a whole, has an aging profile which needs new ideas. So John knows the business is being held back. So HR will be an important role at this stage because the organization is expected to change. For this, your HR topics from E1 become important. Your marketing techniques, new marketing techniques in your E1 syllabus become important. As the business grows, there might be the need for a new costing technique as well. So small business overhaul is on the horizon, which is going to lead to a lot of changes in the business, in my opinion. And hence, new methods could be tried out and your E1, P1, F1 syllabus becomes greatly testable. So I'm thinking about exam scenario now. So an exam question revolving around this situation, like changes in the organization, is very much on the horizon. Expansion can lead to capital requirements such as F1, property, plant and equipment recognition, F1, production planning, P1. A lot of situations are coming to my mind. We'll test you on all of them in our mock questions. Don't worry. But right now, while going through the discussion, it's important to recognize this. So since the topic of expansion is prominent in discussions, can there be an opportunity to outsource certain business units? For example, let's outsource our marketing department. Because marketing is not my core activity, but still I need to greatly improve on it. Advantages will be controlled costs, better advantage, better efficiency. They will be the experts. I can think of this. So outsourcing advantages and disadvantages from your E1 syllabus are important. Next, they have given us extract from Keeland's Pony Club manual. So this is the Pony Club manual which is distributed in Keeland, and they have picked the extract from there and put it in our pre-scene. So chapter 3 says the general purpose European style saddle. So general purpose European style saddle, the image that you can see, is designed to accommodate different riding styles and disciplines. It is important to understand the different areas of a saddle when looking after your horse. We have a numbered list of different areas of a European style saddles, which images they have made it clear for you as a student to understand what a saddle actually looks like, because you might not know these technicalities. The seat of the saddle is where the rider sits. It has to be comfortable. Simple. Second, number 2 is the cantle. You can see the image over here on the right hand side with the number 2 corresponding to it. The cantle provides support and security for the rider, keeping them in place during the riding. The height of the cantle has to be matching to the rider's position. Let me again just move around my video so it's easier for all of us. Then there is pommel. This is raised front portion of the saddle seat. Then there is a tree. This is the internal framework of the saddle that gives its shape and structure. It's a crucial role in distributing the rider's weight evenly across the back of the horse. A well-designed tree is very important. Now, these technical words might seem boring to you, I know that, but it's important from the case study perspective, because they might tell you that the tree of our saddles is now going to incorporate, let's say for example, software chips to gauge the riding performance. For example, I'm saying. Now, if you don't know what the tree is, you will be picturing an actual tree. We don't want that situation. So these technicalities are very important for us to understand over here. Next, there is the gullet. So this is the channel which runs along the length of the saddle but underneath the seat. It provides clearance for the horse's spine, ensuring there is no pressure on the horse's back. So very important again. The tree, the gullet, very important. 6. The flaps. These are large leather panels that hang down on both sides of the saddle. 7. You have knee rolls and thigh blocks. Knee rolls and thigh blocks are padded areas on the front of the saddle flaps. They provide additional support and stability for the rider's legs. And 8. There is paneling. The panels are padded areas which come into direct contact with the horse's back. They should be designed to distribute the rider's weight evenly and provide cushioning. Now, after a saddle has been assembled, it is then stuffed with flocking to provide padding in the seat. Flocking can be wool or synthetic material or a mixture of both. Now, since we are talking about mix over here, mix of wool, mix of synthetic material and different materials, the variances topic again comes into the picture. Material usage, material wastage, mix variances. So with different processes, products, needs and expansion comes issues in production, and this needs to be managed well, which is possible if variances are understood well. So your material variances, labor variances, mix variances become very important again. P1 syllabus, there will definitely be a variance question in the exam. If you get it in your variant, okay. If you don't get it in your variant, okay, but if you get it, if you already revised it, guess what? You will be in a great position to replicate that knowledge. Article in Keeneland Equestrian News. Next, we are coming up with an article. So, how have European saddles developed over the last 500 years? Ella Winterbacher for the Keeneland Equestrian News reports that horse riding saddles have a rich history dating back millennia, and their design has evolved significantly over the last 500 years. We have been in business for 118 years. So 1/5 of the time we have been in the business. So we are a legacy business. We know how the business has changed and we know the culture. This development has been driven by the changing needs of riders, improvements in materials, and a deeper understanding of horse anatomy and biomechanics. This looks set to continue. So the business is changing. Managing change, managing uncertainty, dealing with risks will be very important. Because like I said, for my business also, it's going to change. It is changing vastly. It is changing. So very, very important that the risk concept from P1 is revised. The medieval era saw saddles which were simple and practical, and as the illustration shows, were designed mainly for use of military. High pommels and cantles provided stability for knights in armor. Stirrups introduced around the 9th century were pivotal in improving control and balance. So every part of the saddle, the 8 parts of the saddle that we went through, all are very, very, very important. The 16th and 17th centuries in the Renaissance and Baroque periods saw saddles becoming more decorative and focused on rider comfort. So it changed from use to comfort. The rise of equestrian arts and a desire for elegance led to saddles being elaborately adorned. So then came how they look. The Age of Enlightenment, which is the 18th and 19th centuries, saw more advancements with saddles becoming lighter and more balanced. So after look came again reducing the weight and more balance with better weight distribution. The introduction of the wooden saddle trees and developments of design, these all allowed greater freedom of movement for the rider. So saddles have been changing in our industry analysis as well. We know that nowadays it's greatly changed because of technology in manufacturing and technology in use. So saddle design continued to be revised during the 20th century with disciplines like dressage, show jumping and eventing driving the creation of specialized saddles. So in this segment, they gave us information about what a saddle is and the history of saddles. Now we are moving to the industry. So this is a small industry segment or an industry analysis segment they have given you as part of the pre-scene. But guess what? If you've done my industry analysis, then you have already had a great bunch of ideas, a great bunch of knowledge to help you make even more sense of what is over here in front of you. So let's start. Canon's market share in Keyland is relatively small in the number of volume of saddles sold. This is understandable, one, because we have a premium price, and second, our sales are falling. There are two reasons for this. However, there is a flourishing equestrian market in Keyland. So Keyland market is growing. $4 billion is the size of this market. So approximately 1% of the 26 million households in Keyland own horses, with an average of 2.4 horses owned by each household. So there is huge opportunity in this market, which we are missing out on because of the problems that the business is facing. So very big market with new opportunities. We must look at evolving our business firstly. Second, we should look at growing market segments as well, like for example the accessories market, or geographical expansion in places that we were not selling before. Countries with a tradition of horse ownership usually have saddle makers which only sell into their domestic market, but we have saddle makers which sell globally as well. We know the competition in this market is going to be high from, again, the industry analysis. Saddle makers typically sell saddles to wholesalers and retailers of equestrian equipment. So growth avenues, tradition, global players also included in this market, increasing demand for sophisticated and technologically advanced saddles, and population is large who own horses, so they will need saddles. So there are huge growth avenues present in Keyland itself. How are we taking advantage of this? This we need to ask, or this we need to debate as to what are we going to do moving forward. So as we learnt on the previous page, there is these saddle manufacturers sell to retailers, wholesalers. Such equestrian equipment retailers usually have their own in-house saddle fitters who will connect with the end user to make the sale. Saddle makers do not usually sell directly to the end user. They'll sell to wholesaler or a retailer who will then sell it to a customer. That's the business traditionally. So relationship management with retailers, with wholesalers will be very important because they are selling my product. If I don't have a good relation with them, why will they sell my product? So relationship management in your E1 syllabus is important. Also receivables management, because they will be selling it to the customer and we need to recover that money from our wholesaler, reseller is going to be important. So receivables management, F1 syllabus becomes again very important. Today, individual riders may have multiple saddles for one horse, with each designed to improve performance in a specific discipline. For example, show jumping saddle is different, dressage saddle is different, both are different but for the same horse. So in addition, riders with multiple horses are also likely to have specific saddles which are specifically sized for that horse, because each horse has a different size, right? So the move to riders having specific horses for specific disciplines has driven the sales for saddles. So there is lots of evidence that this market is growing. This market is moving in the right direction, but we as a company need to position ourselves to take advantage of that growth. So saddle manufacturing industry as a whole, it has many national and global manufacturers. We learnt about this in the competition analysis in my industry analysis itself. There is a high concentration of saddle makers in areas such as USA, Australia, South Asia and Europe, where equestrian sport has been in their tradition. However, the equestrian saddle market is very diverse and includes different separate equestrian pursuits such as polo, horse racing, European riding, Western riding. So lots of different niches. Manufacturers in each of these individual fields do not compete in most cases, with only a very few global firms operating in more than one market. As you can see, Canon, right now they told us we only look at non-event saddle manufacturing, which is generally used for a hacking or a leisure ride or a trail ride. We are not a player who is looking at different markets right now. So very big market with new opportunities. We must look at evolving and growing market trends. We are not doing it right now doesn't mean we can never do it. Product expansion can be seen as the next stage. Developments are being seen in the saddle industry in both product and in design. Production, which has previously been labor intensive, is now becoming more and more automated. However, despite this, the production of a saddle still relies heavily on the skilled labor of saddle makers. So technology is being used, but a lot of labor intensive nature of this industry also remains. So more automated techniques would mean better production, and with better production comes better costing needs. If everything is becoming more and more automated, the switch to activity based costing for a modern business can be seen as the next step. When we go deeper into the costing segment after the financials, we will have a deeper detailed ABC analysis for you, don't worry. But the costing system and the activity based costing system as a whole from your P1 syllabus is a very important exam favorite topic. Design improvements are being seen in the use of high-tech materials. For instance, carbon fiber in tree manufacture rather than wood to obtain a lighter and stronger tree is being used. There have also been moves to introduce more automation in the production process. So more automation means move towards modern manufacturing techniques such as JIT, TQM, lean manufacturing, quality circles. When we go deeper into understanding what exactly my company Canon's production process is, we want to see, do we have modern manufacturing techniques? If not, then major again trend in the industry we are missing out. So this is your E1 syllabus, your cost of quality, quality related decision making. E1 syllabus is very important, prevalent over here. After that, we have extract from Canon's sales brochure. So in the Canon sales brochure, they're explaining our saddle range. So at Canon, our long history as equestrian saddle makers shows in our range of traditional saddles and designs. Each saddle has evolved with the aim of helping the horse and the rider. So the keywords so far which I have picked, which define my strategy as a business, is premium quality, premium designs, and traditional saddles for leisure activities. Let's remember this. So we offer you 3 different styles of saddles, each named after horses that have been owned by the family: Astral, Meteor, and Comet. There are 2 models of Astral, 2 models of Meteor, 1 model of Comet. So total of 6 products are sold by the business right now. Each model uses a different grade of leather, E-type, A-type, and either type 1, type 2 or type 3 saddle tree. So there are only 6 major products. But inside of each product, you can choose your leather quality or the saddle tree type. So under Astral, you have type 1, type 2, good leather, and D quality leather. Under Meteor, you have C and B. Under Comet, you have the best quality, which is premium leather. So each model is available in different sizes to allow the saddles to fit different heights and different riders, different sizes of the horse as well. So we have different categories of products. Under each category, we have subcategories of products. So very many different products are being sold by the business. This tells us that is going to be very important, that if you have 5, 6 major products, then understanding the costing of each product and understanding how each product, which is the most profitable product with accurate costing systems, is important. And again, the need for activity based costing can arise in the future, something for us to keep in mind, because it's an indication that they're giving us. So all of these indications which I'm pointing out through the pre-scene have been given to us. And if we are not smart enough to pick them up and then revise them, and then a question comes up based on them in the exam, then we have nobody to blame but ourselves. So let's ensure that we pick these ideas up carefully. So that has brought us to the end of this pre-scene analysis part 1. This is only part 1. We have part 2 coming up, which is another hour and a half, and part 3, which is the financials, which is another 45 minutes. So every single word of the pre-scene that SEMA has released will be very carefully analyzed by us, will be very carefully gone through by us, and we have, just ensured that everything is covered. Again, we are registered tuition providers, and we have won the Excellence Award for pass rate percentage for 2 years in a row now. You're in the right place, you're learning in the right way. Just ensure that you focus on the details that we give you. If you already have not signed up with us, then I urge you to do so. Visit our website or write to us on help@fintutors.com. Somebody will definitely, get back to you soon and help you sign up. Our full pre-scene analysis with all of our full mock questions are there to assist you, and you can already see the quality that we deliver. So with full commitment, let's ensure that part 1 is clear, then move on to part 2 and part 3. No hurry.